Welcome yourself to the practice this morning in child's pose, knees a bit apart, big toes together. Reach the arms out in front of you. Let the head settle down to the mat or close to it for a moment. Hoping to bring in a sense of lightness and ease through the breath and through the practice today. Don't overthink, just do, move by move, breath by breath. Reach the arms out nice and long in front of you. Come up to the fingertips. Lift the forearms, elbows, upper arm bones to the sky. Have a little hollowing in the armpits and reach back through. Sit heavy towards your heels. Cleansing work through the breath. Next, inhale, come up to all fours. Place the hands flat. Knees right underneath the line of the hips and round the back for cat pose. In cat pose, as you round the back, drop the head. Make little circles through the hips and shoulders. Move the body around, staying in cat pose. Good little stretch across the upper back in particular. Opening through the sides of the torso and hips as well. Come to a neutral spine. Lengthen your stride. Hands a little further out in front of you. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Down dog. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. From plank, be it on the toes or on the knees, do your full range. Push up, down and up, and then stretch back to downward facing dog. And then do that 4 more times. Take your own pace each time. Try to get in your longest range down to the mat and back up in the push-up. Toes or knees here. What finds you strength? Again, we're looking for a little bit of lightness. I dare say joy in this practice today. So don't over effort it. Stay back in downward facing dog. Again, clear and cleanse out through the breath. And then drop the knees down to the mat, all fours. Lift your right leg up and back in line with the spine. Lift the left arm out in front of you, so opposite arm and leg. Lower the left hand and pick up the right hand, right arm out in front, same arm and leg. Play with how the balance shifts and changes. Keep the right arm up, lower the right leg, lift the left leg, so opposite arm and leg again. I was playing with this in my practice yesterday. I thought it was fun. See how it goes here. Right arm down, left arm up. Lower the hands, lower the leg, cross your ankles or calves, sit back, place the hands right about the line of the knees. Do everything you can to get as much of you off of the mat as possible, keeping maybe hands and feet or just hands down. And then lower, give it a breath, and cross the other ankle or calf on top, and try it all over again. Hands down, feet down, or maybe hands down, feet up. And then lower it down. Sit on your butt, lay down onto your back. Shoot your legs up in the air. Hands either under your bum or behind the head. Lift the head and shoulders off the mat or keep them down. Leg lifts. Swing the legs towards the ground and up to the sky. Do it 4 more times. Down and up. Options are to do this one leg at a time or with a purposeful bend in the knees. And again, hands back under your butt or up behind the head. Use some momentum after that last leg lift to rock your way back up to seated and back up to standing. I guess first time standing in the practice. Lift the arms up to the sky. Palms together, lean towards your right side. Come back to the middle, separate the hands. Utkatasana, chair pose, power pose. Utka meaning fierce, right here, show it. Interlace the hands behind your back, round the back. Think cat pose in the upper body. Try to keep your hands interlaced and lift the arms up to the sky. Release the hands, take them back out in front, sit lower into the thighs. Arms as high as your shoulder line. And inhale, stand all the way up, palms together, lean to the left. Crescent moon, squeeze the bottom arm up towards your ear. And then come back to the center, separate the hands, Utkatasana again. Repeat, hands behind the back, interlace the second favorite finger in front. Round the back as you lift the arms up. Lengthen the spine, release the hands, reach the arms out in front of you, but sit lower in the legs, belly down to your thighs. Inhale, stand all the way up, keep the arms to the sky, pick up your right foot, place it into tree pose. Use a hand or don't to help you get it there. That's it, looking great, yogis. All the wobbles, the bobbles that come into finding the balance. That's the practice. Take it with lightness. Lower the right foot, pick up the left. Tree pose, second side. Push the foot into the leg into the foot. Find a steady gaze that won't move or change. Stay with it. And then 2 feet back down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Leave the right foot forward. Step your left foot back into a low lunge. Spin the back heel down, come up to warrior 2. Open the hips and shoulders to face the long edge of your mat. Gaze out over the front fingertips. Work with the breath to sit a little lower into the front leg and open up the front knee, more towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Finding strength and stretch. Lower the hands on either side of the front foot. Pick up your back heel. Change into your low lunge with a twist. So right arm up to the sky here. And lower the right hand down to the mat. Step back to plank. Lower down. Peel the chest up for cobra. Change to downward facing dog. Look in between the hands, make your way forward. Half lift, forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Start it all over for the second side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the left foot forward. Step your right foot back into your low lunge. Change to warrior two. Spin the back heel down. Come up. Extend the arms in either direction. Bend the front knee a lot. Think knee over the line of the ankle towards a 90-degree sit in that front leg. Look back down at the front foot. Rotate your hands on either side. Low lunge. And get into the twist. Left arm up to the sky. Set the left hand down to the floor. Step back to plank. Keep going to the vinyasa flow. Lower down to the mat. Peel the chest up. Downward facing dog. Breathe here. And then look to the hands. Step or jump to the front of the mat. Half lift. Forward fold. We all rise up together. Inhale, lift the arms. Palms to the center of the chest. Okay, without turning around, try walking backwards to the back end of your yoga mat. When you find your heels at the back of the mat, steady the balance there. Lift both arms up to the sky. Lift the right knee into the chest. And then take that giant leap forward into a high lunge, big step. Lower the hands down around the foot. Step back to dog pose. Walk the hands to the feet. That backwards walk with the hands. As you stand up, lift the left knee, lift the arms, and take your giant step forward. Lower the hands, step back, dog pose. And you can do this at your own pace here. We've got 2 more giant steps on each leg. Go back, right side here. Step it forward. Through dog pose, walk the hands to the feet. Do the second side. And your giant step could be several little steps made into one giant step. Find what works for you. We're doing this repetition of high lunge throughout the month, so you can play with it different from pose to pose, class to class. Three times each side. Starting to gain a little more confidence and even like that big step as I move along. I hope you are too. Stay in downward facing dog after the third round. Come forward to plank pose. Shoulders right over the back of the wrist. Squeeze the heels in. Squeeze your glutes. Lengthen the tailbone. Tone the belly. You've got it. Plank pose for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. Sit back, child's pose. And then sit back on your heels and pull the torso upright. If you don't like sitting all the way back, slide a block under your bum so you're a little higher, or come up to kneeling. My knees actually don't want me to sit back today, so I'm going to do the kneeling portion. Okay, eagle arms, just the arms, not the legs. Cross the right elbow under the left, and then flip it back to your hands. And here we're trying to get a nice reach and stretch to the outer shoulder, outer upper arm bone. Worry less about the balance. Just enjoy the stretch in the arms, and then switch sides, other elbow on bottom. And you hold the hands or you hold the shoulders. Either way, find what works. Good stretch and attention there, but also a little bit of a break from the intensity of the work. Okay, release the arms. Do come up to kneeling if you're not already. Hands to the waist. Kind of like those big giant steps forward. You're going to fling the right foot forward into your lunge. And then lower the hips down. Take the weight over towards the left hand. Maybe a little more of a heel-toe work out to the side with the right leg. So we're getting ready for twisted monkey pose here. Now, if I sit my hips as far down and forward as I can, then I cannot get into a good stretch through the quad. So there's some lift, some sense of squeezing towards the midline and strength, and then pull the back heel up. Then it's easier to reach back and grab hold. Try it in all the different ways. Look up towards the sky. Let your shoulders and head lean back a little bit. We get a stretch for the hips, for the quads, twist in the torso, little back bend, all of it coming together here. And then release. Work your way back upright, hands to the waist, and step your right foot back to that kneeling position. Gain strength in the core. Try not to overly wobble side to side, and fling your left foot forward. Again, hips go a little down and forward, but as you do that, walk heel-toe, left foot out to the side. Lean your body weight onto the right hand, up and out to the side. And pull the back heel in towards your butt. Look over your left shoulder. Grab hold of the left foot. Nope, that's your right foot. Left hand grabbing hold of the right foot. And back it off. Downward facing dog. Let's get into a fun piece of the puzzle here. Plank, side plank combination with tree pose. Here's how we're gonna start. Right hand, spin to the outer edge of the right foot and step your left foot forward for that little kickstand. Open up to the side, lift the left arm to the sky. Side plank with the kickstand. Now instead of that kickstand foot being on the floor, can you put it on your leg? So tree pose, left foot along your right calf or your right thigh. Don't put it on your knee, because then the next thing I want you to do is push your leg into the left foot. Now keep tree pose as much as you possibly can and go to plank. You can even add in a push-up there. Tree pose with the push-up. And then point your left knee down to the floor, but can you keep it off of the floor? And lift the right arm up. Side plank, left knee facing down. Take your right hand, hold on to your left foot, and kick it out, straight out, or even up towards the line of your shoulder and your head. Swing the left leg all the way back into side plank. Full plank pose. Downward facing dog. It's a lot. Take in what you can do. Feel the confidence as you keep trying to do a little bit more in this combination. Second side, left hand, outer edge of the left foot. Step your right foot forward like a kickstand, right arm up to the sky. So side plank with that kickstand. Now the kickstand foot goes into tree pose. Place it along your left leg. Anywhere along the leg except for the knee, because we want to push power into the foot. Good, keep it as much as possible and turn to your plank. Even add in the push-up. And now the knee faces down to the floor. Other arm up to the sky. Grab hold of your foot, kick it out. Change the foot, maybe even more towards the line of the front of the mat. And then side plank. Two hands down, full plank. Ooh, lower it down to the mat. Peel up for cobra. Child's pose. Give your wrist a break. Turn the palms up. A few breaths in child's pose. Nice work there in that combo. Make your way all the way back upright to kneeling and arms straight out in front of you at shoulder height. This is our camel from the strength of our legs, not going into the back bend. It's all about squeeze your butt, lean back, pull up on the kneecap, tone in the quad, and then come to your neutral. 4 more times. We're going in 5s today. Repetition back and up, back and up. 2 more times. Back and up and back and up. Hands to the waist. Point your right foot out to the side for gatekeeper pose. If you need to turn on the length of your mat, feel free to. I've been doing this with the foot pointed out to the side for just a little fun difference. Flex the foot so that the toes point towards the same direction as your front knee. Both arms up to the sky. If you're like, no, that doesn't work, it's harder. Keep the toes pointed out to the side. And we're doing the side crescent reach here with it. Keep both hands together and only go into the crescent stretch as much as works today. Keep the hips forward, lifted over the line of the front knee. And then come back to center. Lower the arms and bring the leg in. Left leg goes out. Again, rather than pointing the toes with the foot, with the leg, you're going to flex the foot and try to point the toes in the same direction as the rest of the body is facing. Both arms overhead and crescent lean towards the left foot. I always find this incredibly hard. Must be a lot of good in it. Come on down. That's usually my life experience. When it's a little bit hard, when it's challenging, There's some deep good in doing it. All right, back to the kneeling. And once again, right foot forward. Straighten the leg, flex the foot, point the toes up. And then from the hips, hinge forward, butt back, head forward until you find a good stretch through the back of the right hamstring. I should say back of the right thigh into the hamstrings. Hands can go down to give you a little bit more solid foundation there. If the hands are down, lift them back to the waist. Come back upright in your torso. Again, try to stabilize through the core as you step the right foot back. So the transition into the pose, these flinging of the foot forward and back, are a big part of the practice today. Flex the foot, straighten the leg, toes point up. And again, as you try to push your butt back, lean forward. Hands can come down or stay at the waist. If the hands are on the ground, bring them back to the hips. Lift your torso up. Stabilize in the core and step the left foot back. Come down to all fours. Go right into downward facing dog. Pull the right knee into the chest and come forward in plank. Shoot the right leg under the body towards the left. You can set the outside of the foot onto the mat. It's almost like you're going into side plank. Fallen sage, we call this one. Lower the hips and lower the chest down. Lift the chest up. And then do it 5 more times, or 4 more times actually. So it's chest down and up. I'm doing this with the hips on the ground. We'll progress through our month to try to add in some push-ups here with hips off of the ground. But we're trying to just work in the twist and the upper body here. Keep chest down. I use my head to help me a little bit, push into the outside edges of the feet as well. And now ready, everything lifts up, hips up, and step it back, downward facing dog. Okay, left knee up and into the chest. Shoot the left leg under the right arm out to the side. Turn to the edges of the feet, set the hips down so the legs look like an L shape or towards an L. There's a strong lift and twist in the torso, and set shoulders, chest down towards the mat. So a lower part of the push-up. And then we're going to lift up and down. Try to find that full range of motion of your push-up. Elbows hugged close into the side. And again, we've got 5 here in the repetition. When my SI joint gets a little wonky, this is actually something that helps me. My body repattern and find some relief. Won't help everybody, but it does help me. Something worth a try if your SI joint gets a little wonky as well. Okay, can we lift those hips back up off of the mat and go to downward facing dog. Look forward to the hands, step or jump to the front of the mat. I like to give the hands, wrists a little wiggle there. And then inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. What you might be noticing is that there's hardly any sort of regular, typical standing poses in this month's sequence. So still finding some time to stand up, get off the hands, that knowledgeable break, hopefully a little lightness to keep going in that manner. Okay, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. With the fingertips on the mat, I'm just gonna walk myself back a little bit so I've got a pretty good length, like in your half lift of hands, a foot and a half in front of your feet, something like that. And then we're trying that opposite arm and leg lift that we did in the beginning on hands and knees, but now we're on fingertips and feet. Lift your right leg up and back, and lift your left arm out in front. And then lower the left hand and lift the right arm up. Keep the right arm up, lower the right foot. Lift the left leg up. Lower the right hand down, lift the left arm up. Not adding the bind today, just the work and change in the legs. And then lower the left leg down and lower the left hand down. Go back to your downward facing dog. Something like that fallen sage pose that we did before, but we're stepping it up towards an arm balance. It's right knee in towards the chest, hover forward. Now instead of shooting your leg on its side, out under the left arm, I want to step on the right foot, bend your elbows and try to create a shelf to put your right knee onto your upper left arm bone. And this takes maneuvering, shifting. You just kind of work through it. And as best we can, get your right knee onto your upper left arm bone. Once you've worked there, I think head down to or towards the mat to lift your leg up. Literally, sometimes, again, I put my head down to give a 3-point to the pose to make it easier to get the legs up. And then step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Okay, we do this on the second side. Think play as you do it, not conquering, just playing around. Left knee into the chest. Shoot the leg under your right arm, but step onto the foot. Bend both knees, bend both elbows, and you just kind of work it in. I've got like feet, knees down so that I can try to work into the upper arm bones. Again, we'll be seeing this pose come into practice and play throughout the month. So don't be afraid to just mess around with it, see what works today, as much as works today. And then stretch it back out to downward facing dog as you are done. It's a tough pose. In the past year, my body says no more than it says yes, and that is okay. I'm learning. Look forward to the hands, step or jump forward. Half lift, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Again, just taking a moment, settling on the breath. Let's spend the last little time together in a good stretch, sitting on our mat. To get you there, Arms straight out in front. Use it as a little bit of a balance lever. And lift your heels up. From that releve position, can you bend your knees and slide your butt down towards your heels? And then shift all the way to sit onto your bum and into boat pose. Last little repetition of 5 here. Like a canoe, go lower down, straighten arms and legs, and then lift up. Half lower and lift. Lower and lift. Twice more. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Come all the way down to your back. Pull the knees into your chest. Enjoy the squeeze. Make your legs like a scissor, right leg up, left leg down. Hold behind the right thigh. Try left hand to the outer right shin or even towards the outer right foot. Using balance and control, again, a little bit of play. Pull the right leg towards the left side so you're kind of leaned over on your left side without falling all the way down. Or if you do fall all the way down, no big deal. Try to pick yourself back up and balance right on the edge. And then bring it back to the middle. Switch legs. Scissor left leg up, right leg down. Hold right hand to the outside of the left leg. I've got my left arm out like an airplane wing to the side to try to counterbalance as the left leg goes to the right. Right foot shooting straight down towards the short edge of the mat, hovering right in there. Bring it all back into the center, knees to the chest. And then set the arms out to a T shape. Easy supine twist here. Lay both knees down towards the right side, just all the way down. No holding, no balancing. Just be now. If you'd like to straighten the top leg and catch it in your right hand, go for it. Just emphasizing a little of the work that we've done earlier, if you've added that in. All right, knees across the center. Take it over to the second side. Same thing. Stay as is or stretch the top leg straight. Try to catch it into the left hand. And bring it all back into the middle. Rock yourself up to a seat. Stretch the legs straight out. You can be fully straight legs or go with a little bend underneath the knees. Fold the torso towards the legs. Hold on to the feet. So this really gets into a stretch and connection for the length of the spine. If it's not stretching your legs, but it is giving you some relief and length in the spine, that's what we're really going for. So good job. And then the torso is usually more lifted if the legs are straight and you are more into the stretch through the back of the legs. So you can change it up and do that as well. Bring the torso back upright, soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana, knees out to the side. You can hold on to the feet, ankles, push the feet in, point the knees out, stay upright or fold over. Even do some circling around in the torso. Again, bringing in that sense of light and play, what feels like something you want to try today. Friends, from here, I welcome you to do any last unwinding movements, inversion pose, whatever might feel right for you. And then Shavasana. And by Shavasana, I just mean a pose of stillness, whether that's lying back, seated, propped against a wall, you choose. As I find stillness in my body, I like to take the first few breaths to take a quick picture glance back through the practice. Maybe hold some images of poses I was particularly confident and full in. Pictures of poses that made me smile. Let yourself rest in those poses and the feeling of lightness and joy. It's not always that, but for today, that's the focus. You're welcome to stay here in Shavasana a bit longer. For those ready, come back to a seated position. Gather the palms together, the thumbs to the sternum, and Anjali Mudra. Hoping to send the lightness of this class into the rest of our day. We'll close in the sound of Om. Sing along, listen, tune it out. Empty your breath here. Deep breath in. Bow in gratitude to yourself, each other, this practice. Namaste.